I'm no longer a first-time mom, and I'm inching out of those first haze-filled days and years of motherhood, so my parenting surprises are coming a little less frequently, but when they do, they come at me with much more intensity. I never even considered how having my child learn to read would impact me. I just assumed it would be a happy milestone that we would celebrate, but it's made me reflect much more than I anticipated, and I'm sure others have felt this way, maybe, hopefully. And maybe sharing my story will help others who haven't quite hit this milestone yet know what might be coming. Welcome to the This Is Parenting podcast, a show devoted to sharing the roller coaster journey of parenthood from moms and dads all over the world. I'm your host, Andrea Rhodes. Information and show notes about today's episode can be found at thisisparentingpodcast.com. Let's get started. My son started reading this year, and it's been a parenting moment I won't soon forget. I'm so proud of all of his hard work, and even though I knew that first grade meant reading, to actually see it evolve the way it has been pretty incredible. It definitely makes the top moments list in my motherhood journey so far. And I find him with a book in his hand at the most odd times. Sometimes he stows away in his room without warning, and after some searching, I find him curled up with his favorite book. Sometimes I find him reading to his sister, which always melts my heart, and without fail, he has to grab a book before leaving the house. There's a library full of books in my car at all times. And reading is opening up the world to him, and I'm so excited for him to learn and grow and use that big imagination of his. He excitedly shares these fictional worlds with me, and I try as hard as I can to pretend to understand them, but I always appreciate them. But with all the positives that come with this milestone, I have to admit I'm also a bit sad and a little anxious. I'm sad because he no longer relies solely on me or his dad to share stories of adventure with him. Will he miss that time we spent together? Will he remember those evenings, exhausted as I was, reading to him about the 3 little kittens in a pair of mittens and that little old lady who was always whispering hush? And as a side note, I instantly connected with her. I always imagined she was just a tired mom who parented all of her kids and only wanted an evening of peace. I'm sad because this also means I am no longer a gatekeeper to this world he lives in. He comes across new words he doesn't understand almost daily, which has already led to some tough conversations. Questions about death, questions about motive, questions about good versus evil, and I'm not sure I'm ready. I'm not sure I'm ready for my little boy to leave the safety of his innocence and leap into the real world, but I know it's inevitable. It might be a billboard we pass or a close-up of a handwritten note shown in a movie scene. I'm just so used to glossing over those details because my son couldn't comprehend them. It was quite easy to spin a narrative in a way I thought was age appropriate. But now I have to pay close attention. Now starts the uphill battle of trying to gauge my child's understanding of the real world we live in. He will inevitably be exposed to concepts I'm not ready for, and I hope he asks me questions. I hope he isn't scared. I hope there are more positives than negatives. And I guess that's my job, to be sure he's exposed to all the light this world can offer. I don't have any words of wisdom of how I'm approaching this phase just yet. It's too early to weigh in. I plan on staying in tune to what he's reading about, what his interests are, and answering all of the questions he has as open and honestly as I can. I can just feel the control slipping a bit, and I know this is only the beginning. There's good and bad that comes with autonomy, and I know there's so much more ahead of me. So to those of you who have hit this stage and beyond, please share with me your thoughts. I would love to hear how you are approaching this topic of exploration and freedom. What am I in for over the next few years? Come find me on Instagram. My handle's @selfies2selfless, and let me know. I don't know. These are just thoughts I ponder that keep me up at night. And if you have a kid that is around that first grade age, I'm actually including a top books list for first graders in the show notes. The list is filled with some amazing books and some that are just plain silly because my son loves all these really crazy book series that make no sense to me, but he's obsessed with them. So I'm including all of those as well as some others that are kid approved. So go check it out. This is parentingpodcast.com.